Oh, my eyes. So, in this analysis, my primary goal is looking for layers. Um, and by layers, I mostly mean stuff like sequences that you choose as part of a game plan. So, for example, when Wagner runs up to somebody's wake up or something, and we'll assume that they will block. Uh, Staggering would be a layer that checks for it's basically saying, do you know how to not mash here? And if the answer is yes, then they don't mash, obviously. If the answer is no, they explode. I should say they block. So that blocking is like their defensive layer that they choose against my offensive layer of staggering. And if they think that I will choose to stagger, then they won't mash, which opens them up to, me waiting or doing all sorts of other fucking shenanigans. But I get into this situation a lot where, like, I'll be staggering, and then some, like, dirty downholder will, like, just keep blocking or something. Oh. Or CS. And then I'm like, oh, okay, well, now it's time to start grabbing. But when I try doing grabbing, uh, I say, do you mash here? And if they say yes, I get hit. Or they say yes, they mash. If no, um, and I get into this situation where it turns this it turns this game state into a 50-50, or how like it feels, because they're never afraid. They've responded to me and my staggers by saying, okay, we'll just block those. And what you're going to do is you're going to try and grab me. So if I think that you're going to try and grab, I'm going to mash. Uh, and those situations are like noticeable enough that they just like choose to mash, or even if I like try to let a button finish or something, they'll just be choosing to mash because they will sense something. So I end up either running in and grabbing or getting hit, like basically every time, and they don't die to staggers anymore, really. And that, I think that's because I'm missing something here. There needs to be something here, but I'm not sure what it is. So, what better way to figure that out as a Wagner player than watching Redblade? This is Redblade versus a friend of mine, Gosuda, and I think the main topic of this analysis will be this layer thing, kind of like analyzing what Redblade is doing, because I'm sure that he has some sort of offensive layer that covers people mashing and looks like him running in and grabbing. You know what I mean? Something. Oh god. So like I'm thinking right now that he's clearly staggering, And Redblade is saying, how do you respond to this, right? Like, do you shield? Do you block? Do you mash? What are you doing? You know? So he sees a shield here, and he moves back in to keep it going. Which I guess is actually pretty smart to just move back in there after this rebeat. Because this rebeat is only -1. I think charge 5C2A is only -1. Which means that if he runs back in there and 5Bs, Chaos doesn't have a button that beats this, you know. Maybe he could 2C. I don't know. Now the point is that Redblade is learning something right now, I think. He's learning that he's not pressing any buttons on these staggers, right? So he doesn't mash. Does he block? Yes. And does he shield? Yes. So he doesn't have to be scared of mash. And upon realizing this, he runs in, waits for a second, and then just charges force function. And he has shield buffs, so this is like a little bit more in his favor than usual. But I think that he does this because of what he's learned already. And it's a knowledge check. It's like, do you know how to block charge force function? You know. So he's also so he just immediately buffs there. I do that too. But it looks like it's safe against like Aussie CS stuff. So keeping that tendency in mind, I guess he's just still testing him. I see like how consistently Gosuda will shield, or like when he'll shield, I guess. As if you, because what something that I might do if I thought faster is think, oh, okay, well, you know, he blocks and he shields, yeah, but he's not mashing, so I'm gonna try and run and grab. But maybe that's putting too much value into one block string, you know. Which is maybe why it feels like such RPS to me. Because it's not particularly educated, you know. You know what maybe what I should be looking for is tendencies, not what just happened, you know. So maybe too short-sighted. Because Redblade basically comes in here and does the same thing, right? He's just staggering, seeing what's going on. Then he sees him jump out. So Gosuda has responded to the staggers and stuff like that with shielding, and he responds to the run-in afterwards with the jump out. So I guess now staggering has also taught him, do you jump out? Yes, sometimes. So this is what Redblade has learned about Gosuda so far. He can block that. You can thank me for that one. He likes to shield and block. He doesn't like to mash, and he can jump out. He knows how to do that. Okay, so now he takes advantage of it. So I feel like after 2 block strings, Redblade has decided that he has a read on like Gosuda's shield timings, and he's not scared of Gosuda mashing because Gosuda hasn't shown so far that he will mash here. Right? But he has shown that he blocks and that he shields. So this is an educated guess that he takes, and it pays off really well. Like, of course, this is a risk to do it, but you know, it's an educated risk. It's one of those things where, like, you know, in order to open somebody up with Wagner, you do have to run in and guess. So that's pretty good. You know, he's doing like a similar stagger thing. And he showed a similar pattern, so Gosuda mashed out there. That was a nice guard thrust by Gosuda. And he just waits here. This is actually kind of smart here because I think that the reason that this works is because usually when people delay tech here, they like try to tech a grab, or they just like take the grab and block there. But this is kind of like playing against that tendency, you know? So if I just look at this again real quick, this round basically what happened was Redblade put him in the corner and then tested him a bunch. Said, okay, do you mash? No, he shields. Even when I run in and delay, he shields. He can block that too. And then what about the shield timings? Okay. I should do that too, actually. We'll have a miscellaneous page here for like random shit. So he's getting an idea of the shield timings too, which is probably going to end up being a big deal. Well, it does end up being a big deal because Gosuda gets shield broken here soon. That was a nice mash. So yeah, next round. Oh yeah, that kind of looked like a grab tech. So I guess from that you can also learn that Gosuda will react to stuff like that with Stantec. Yeah. So now that because Gosuda has shown that he likes to block and shield, he doesn't mash. This is the really big one. Redblade's wondering if he knows how to tech. So he just starts grabbing a lot. And it looks like he does. Gosuda is teching those grabs. But that one of the scary things about that is that now Redblade is just running up and grabbing him because Gosuda isn't mashing. And by just relying on teching only, he's putting himself in situations where he can get his OSs baited and where he can just get run up grabbed if he feels like Wagner will do something like stagger or wait. And then he mashes there because he's been getting grabbed. So I'm trying to think of the best way to write these notes. Okay, well, grabbing. How do you respond? Do you tech? Or I guess I should say, do you... Oh, well, yeah, do you tech? Do you OS? Do you mash? So, at first it looks like Gosuda does tech. And it does look like he's OSing. But at first he isn't mashing because of the staggering here, which has taught him that mashing can get him killed. So now he's vulnerable to getting run up grabbed a lot. And he techs these. But then he shields there. Maybe that wasn't a very good shield, now that I think about it. Like, that shield might have been ill-advised. Because shielding the buttons that are far out here is good. Like he was doing earlier, the shields were helping him against the staggers, like winning him grid and all that other stuff. But the shield seemed like really desperate. It seemed really... Especially because Redblade has been showing that he's trying to grab right now, It just seems like a dangerous time to shield. I don't know if he was, like, trying to OS something or what. We'll see. Yeah, I don't know. But now he mashes. Which makes some sense because if he doesn't have access to shield, all he has is block. And a lot of times just normal blocking against Wagner doesn't get you anything. It just keeps her from getting something. And if she has sword buff, then the chip that she does with her sword normals is like not necessarily something that you can just ignore forever, So if he's grid broken, this is a time where he's most likely to mash. So I guess that's something to consider as well. And I'll delete these yeses and nos and stuff. Okay. So this was a nice mash. Maybe predictable if you think of it in like maybe predictable if you think of it from the point of like this player mashes a lot when they are grid broken, but this is the first time he's been grid broken, so you can't really like fairly make that assumption, I don't think. He just lets it finish there. I wonder why. Maybe Redblade messed up there. Or he did it on purpose. that's possible too, I guess. It's not like people are used to mashing there. But he's grid broken, so the only time that he's only mashed once. So I think Redblade uses that against him. Because Gosuda has mashed once, but that doesn't mean he's a dirty masher yet. You know, it isn't indicative of a tendency yet. So maybe that's why he feels comfortable going for this grab again. Also, I mean, this is a pretty high reward grab. Well, maybe not. But this is something that Redblade hasn't done yet. So I guess this is an additional layer. Is if they're not mashing, then you can start doing stuff like I don't really know if there's a technique name for this shit. If I let a move end, this is another layer, I guess. It's like that takes advantage of him not mashing, which is good to do, I guess, after you have done your staggering and learned stuff like this, where they shield a lot, they block a lot, but they don't mash very much because they're scared of Wagner, which is understandable. And another good thing about this is that it conceals intent. So far he knows, no, he doesn't mash that. Does he block? Yes. Does he shield? Not yet. But he might. So this is all interesting. So I guess the thing that I'm wondering now is how does Gosuda respond to this? Does Gosuda just keep putting him, like, being in a situation where oh, what the fuck, where does he just keep being in a situation where he can get his OS's baited, or does he start mashing? And if so, like, when does he choose to do that? Because if you never mash, then you really are putting yourself in a position where you have to be choosing your OS's right every time, or like you have to be you just have to start taking some decent risks as a defender. And your opponent doesn't necessarily have to take that many of their own, you know. Like if the defender techs a grab as offense, you think to yourself, ah, shit, they teched my grab, but like it just means that your turn's over, you know. Or I mean, you might still be able to CS or DP as the attacker and you take your turn back, and you know it's not that bad for you. It's not like you take damage immediately for it. Whereas if somebody mashes you out, then they get a combo and maybe stage positioning and all that stuff. So you're making it like, you're not really making it hard for the attacker. And Redblade's starting to wait a really long time. So I guess what Redblade is doing is he knows that Gosuda likes to block and shield. And he's not convinced that Gosuda is going to mash yet. So I guess he's he's putting on pressure and mixing up his timings, which is important to do because if you don't do that, then your opponent just like, I think this is also one of the reasons maybe why I get mashed out so much, because if your timings are predictable on offense, then it means that your opponent knows when your turn is over, and they can choose to mash for that timing. Whereas doing stuff, if your turns are always ending at different times and your moves are always flying in at different times and you're staggering and sometimes you're not and all this other stuff, it's like, and your opponent starts just mashing brain dead, they just explode, you know, like they just die to everything. So they're not going to do that. So this is good to do. I need to get better at doing this. Mixing up my timings. But I think maybe he's also looking for shield timings here. Or like OSs. So what this says to me is that he was looking for a shield. Like he was gonna, instead of doing something like I would do, which is 5B immediate 6B or something, he's not afraid of a mash. So he doesn't have to do like another staggered move. He can just let this end. And if Gosuda presses the shield button to try and shield out something like a 6B, like I would do here, then it would die to this. Like this would just blow it up. And the reason this is happening is because Gosuda is still counterplaying staggering. And he's counterplaying getting grid broken by a grab. By not shielding. He doesn't want to shield right now. But then I think he gets convinced that Redblade's going to be staggering a little bit more. So he's more comfortable shielding or something like that. So the layer that Redblade is on is this one here, like just letting moves end and stuff like that to look for shields and to maybe even see if he'll mash, because if he does and he lets the move finish and gets mashed out, that's still knowledge that Redblade can use, right? It would just be a nice mash from Chaos at that point. So I guess either way, if you're getting punished or whatever, this is good information. And he can do it. He can choose to do it and know that he won't just immediately die for it, because staggering said that he won't mash. Grabbing, he still doesn't mash. So this man doesn't mash, like, at all. So he can just keep doing this and scouting shield timings and seeing if he can bait out, like, CS. It wasn't a thing here, but, you know, I guess the usefulness of doing that is really important, just because it just lets you mix up your timings and look at all those things all at the same time. Oh, and he gets smashed out there. So Gosuda has responded to this layer here, letting a move end by mashing. So he mashes. Or maybe I should leave this as no, because Redblade hasn't been responding to these mashes the instant that it's done, but we'll see what he does next time. Oh, spooky. Is he dead? Oh. Ah, okay. Goes to his nuts. Oh, wow. Oh, he like pressed a button there. I think he pressed a button there because he saw the drill not 2-2C. Well, yeah, I think this is still the, like, you know, Redblade's not immediately counterplaying what's going on. Because he still knows that the most likely tendency is that Gosuda is going to shield. Or keep blocking. And that his mashes have been nice mashes, but they've just been, like, you know, one-off things so far. Nice roll. Oh, I do that too. Oh. Yeah, you can't. So the 2 AD is the 2 AD is -2, so it's really scary to do shit like that. That was a nice jump back OS. So I guess he's choosing to do jump back OS now because Redblade has been doing that assault a lot. Well, so now Redblade might have an idea of what Grab Tech OS's Gosuda might be doing. That's sick. Oh, so he reversals there. Well, Redblade is starting to grab, so, I mean... he's not staggering anymore, and he's not waiting for shit like this, and he's just, like, grabbing a fuck ton. Then, you know, I guess the VO makes sense. I wish I could see the inputs. Oh, okay. I think Redblade was doing this. Just making it gapless because Gosuda has CS here, and he has Veil off. So like this is wasting his Veil off time and forces him to do something like guard thrust if he wants to do something, which gives up his CS. But he doesn't stagger there. And I mean that's a defensive layer. Like, does he have CS? I guess that's really all there is. Yes or no? Do you use it? The answer is pretty much gonna be yes, I feel like, a lot of the time. Which is why... And because he has Veil off here, CSing into through his stagger and then like calling Ozzy or some shit. I'm not really sure what Chaos would do here. When he has Veil off is really bad for Wagner, obviously, because then you're getting hit by somebody who has Veil off. So it's really smart to keep it airtight there, I think. Oh shit. He mashes that. Is that just a read? Like, how does he know to mash there? Maybe it's just a feeling. Oh god, okay. Is 5A 2C a natural frame trap? That's kind of interesting. Oh, you know what it kind of looks like he did here? Well, so we already know that Redblade has seen him do 780. Maybe this 5A... the 5A looks delayed, you know? So if he did 7AD there, then that catches jump frames and then the 2C hits him. So that's cool. And I think he's still playing around it. I'm not sure why charge JC though. Does charge JC beat that? And then he delays again with a 5A. And then he 6Cs to smack him down. That's kind of sick. So, like, I guess what Redblade learns from that is that he's still doing 780. But he's not biting on the delayed 5As. Oh my god, he's just charging, dude. He surprised him there. Okay, was that a mash? Okay, he's mashing. He doesn't... And now he's shielding. Oh, and there's the 7AD. So I guess Gosuda's getting kind of scared here. Or maybe he's responding to Redblade letting moves end and then running in and grabbing. And that's why he's 780ing here. But Redblade's playing around that. He knows what OS Gosuda wants to use right now. Because he's seen it. And he's beating it by... And he knows that he can run up to Gosuda's wake up because Gosuda will block. As I don't think Gosuda has wake up mashed like ever, except for like that time where it was obvious to do it because Redblade missed a combo. So he feels safe in like delaying buttons to beat 780 OS. Rip. Oh. See, this is when I really wish I could see, it looks like he just tried to mash there. Maybe he... I wonder if he messed up 1AD mash for CS there and got 2A. Because that happens to me sometimes. I can't tell. But he's still getting staggered. I noticed that throughout this whole thing, Redblade like uses staggers a lot to just kind of as like he returns to staggers a lot when other stuff stops working or like when other stuff is less likely to work. Because staggering does check for this stuff. And it kills mashing, which is what kills running in and grabbing and delaying stuff and all that other stuff. So like I guess he keeps these things open by frequently returning to this one. And it's okay to return to staggering because it just tells you so much if you do it right. If you just do it better. And then once they get punished for trying to mash out against the stagger, it reopens stuff like this up. Like he staggers there. That's a big starter too. And then Vorpal strips. So now he's not worried about Vorpal anymore. He's not worried about CS, so he can keep staggering here. And because he just punished Gosuda 3.4k for trying to mash out. I actually don't know if those buttons are staggers either, but yeah, he lets that finish and then runs in and grabs again. And now he's mixing in the blocked force function stuff because he's just mixing up his pressure really well. Like he knows what messages he's sending to Gosuda right now. And Gosuda is responding because he has a brain. But maybe not a big enough brain. But it's easy to say that, right? Because, like, you know, you could... Hindsight is 20/20, but, like, after this one, you know, you get hit by this. And then you're put in the corner, and you get your Vorpal stripped, and all that other stuff. The desperate option, right, is to mash here, you know? But also the big brain option is to mash here because maybe at some point you learn that he likes to do this when he knows that you won't mash. But that's just the mind game. And it's scary to do it. It's extra scary to do it here too because Redblade's going to win Vorpal here. He has Veil off running. He just punished you for staggering. It's just a really tough spot to be in as Gosuda. And he's just getting him, dude. He's coming in. And another big part of this is that, you know, unlike me, when you're playing against Redblade, you don't know which move he's going to do this with. Because he's done it with 5B. He's done it with 5C. I think he's done it with 2C as well. And all at different points in the block string. So, like... It's not one of those things where you can say, okay, if he's going to do this kind of thing, it's going to be at this time, and then you mash. You don't know when it will be. Which further makes you not want to mash there. And then he just mixes that in there. So why does that work? Maybe because now Gosuda is scared of, well, I don't see the inputs, so I can't really tell if he OS'd against a grab there. It seemed a little too early for a grab tech OS. Yeah, it looked a little too early. So maybe he was trying to shield out a stagger. I think Gosuda doesn't know, like, what layer Redblade is operating on right now. But he's like clearly, he clearly understands that. Oh yeah, it is a frame trap. But Gosuda clearly understands that Redblade is... He knows what's going on. So he delays that 5A again, maybe to catch an OS of some sort. I guess that delayed 5A is really good, because if they do 180, then it doesn't matter. It's like whatever. But if they do 7AD OS, then they get hit by the 5A and then knocked down by 2C. And 5A 2C is a frame trap. So it's just like a really good thing to do, because it covers so many different things, right? Like, it's a stagger. I'm gonna write that down actually. Delay 5A 2C on wake up. It staggers. Safe against offensive OSs. Catches 7AD OS. Frame traps? Well, that's what I mean by this. Oh, but actually, it might lose to Blink 180. Or, yeah. But I thought he had a sword buff. Pretty sure he does. Shouldn't that burn then? Oh no, because he used the sword buff. Wait. Oh yeah, he did. Yeah, see, he's just... So, like, he knows that Gosuda won't mash here. Gosuda's grid broken. But he's so confident that... Well, he's not grid broken anymore, but... He's playing around the shields and blocking that Gosuda has been showing. But, like, after doing so... You know, shows that he's doing stuff like that, and then says, oh, okay, I'm just gonna start staggering now. So he's like showing Gosuda that I'm playing around your block and shield shit, but if it doesn't work, then I'm going to go back to this. He's going to go back to staggering again, which beats mash, which would be the option that beats the things that he just showed Gosuda he was doing, but didn't get punished for. Oh my god. I know, he's scared to mash again because it's lost the 2 times he's tried. Oh god. Somebody call the cops. I think Redblade is just like working around these layers faster than Gosuda is. Because, like, if the attacker is the one who's dictating the pace, then the attacker will always be the one who gets to choose when he changes what he's doing. You know, barring stuff like system mechanics like CS, which sort of, you know, make you have to do something else. But, like, it's on Gosuda to skip a step. You know, it's on him to say, okay, well, you know, I know that he's working around this, so I think that I know that he knows I'm working around this, so I'm going to do something else. And then he takes the risk. Oh god, okay. He's fucking styling this round. Oh wow. That seems disrespectful. Oh, okay, he's teching. I think this round, Gosuda has a much better idea of, like, of where Redblade's at right now in the mind game. Oh. Redblade chooses really good times to mash. So he really changes up the timing there. Maybe looks for a shield or something. Oh, Gosuda's styling this game. Oh, he got mixed. So he's blocking, and then he shields that. That's really good that he's shielding those shield charges. Oh god. Nice. Oh wow, that beats that up back. Oh, maybe that's why he's been doing the JCs. Even though he knows that Gosuda 780 OSs. Because, like, in that situation, he's not really close enough. He's not really 780ing OS or 780 OSing. He's just up backing because he thinks he can get away. And Assault beats that. Oh, he tried. Wait, so where are they at right now? So he's not staggering. He's not shielding either. He mashes out there, but it doesn't work because the offense's timing was changed up. And I guess Redblade is doing this a lot just because he knows that Gosuda likes to jump, and he also likes to... And it's also Chaos, so Chaos's anti-airs aren't good. Also, he's trying to grab Tech OS, but he's not 180ing. Yeah, the grab Tech OS is not working out there. So I think Gosuda's on the right page. He's just not, like... Like, he's not mashing, except for that one part. Which was, like, the right decision. It just wasn't at the right time. Maybe not the right button. Who knows? But, like, he's shielding when he gets far out and all that other stuff. And when Redblade runs in, he's OSing against the grab, but he's picking the wrong OS. So there's that, like, extra layer there with option selects. And now that the burn is on, yeah. But I feel like... I think he should have been mashing CS there instead of trying to mash out. Nice delay. Oh. Called out that rebeat. I need to lab why and when Chaos rebeats. Nice tech. So he's delaying moves, and then this is something that hasn't happened yet. So I guess that's just that additional layer to the move ending. Because if he's not mashing after the move ends, then it doesn't really beat the move ending. But his OSing and teching the grab afterwards, of course, beats the grab. So he still isn't directly counterplaying letting the move end. He's counterplaying what comes after it, which Redblade might take advantage of here in this last game. We'll see. This is delay 5A. Oh my god, what's going on? Oh, he's crazy. Wait, hold on. Oh, maybe he delayed the 2C too long. Or does the 5A 2C lose to 780? That wouldn't make sense for why he's doing it, though. If it loses to 780. Oh, yeah, see. So now he's delaying buttoning to beat stuff like standing grab tech OS. Oh, God. Gosuda was mashing there or something. I think he's dead. Oh. Oh, no push-ups. So does he let the move end? Oh no, he just runs back in and grabs. I mean, I guess it's just mixed at that point. Well, I think I found what I was looking for. And hopefully, I think I learned something, so hopefully anybody who watches this also learned something. That's it, though. I don't think... I think looking it over again or looking over the last few games of this set would just be, like, overkill, so...